Here we go, everyone. Video number 6. Getting close to the end. Can you believe it's been 6 days already? Have you been putting to use the strategies in each of these chapters and each of those videos that we've talked about so far? I hope so. I truly do. And if so, what's it been like for you? What have you noticed has been different in your mind, in your body, in your kind of emotional levels, just in your kind of awareness of yourself and your environment? What things have started to shift for you? I hope those gifts have served you well. And I call those gifts of the previous chapters because those are things that really allow you to nourish yourself and to renew and rejuvenate your body and your life. Today, we're going to take it in a little bit of a different direction. As opposed to looking at the things which are positive and which you can add to your life, today's video is going to be on the topic of the reduction or elimination of the 4 poisons. These 4 poisons are 4 things which have a major detrimental effect on your health, on your fitness, on your weight loss, and on your life. These things, unlike the other ones which really rejuvenate you, these ones subtract and take away from the energy that you have. So let's dive right in. First off, the first poison, the poison of processed fats. Now, hopefully, this should ring a bell because several times so far in this program, we've already talked about fats. We talked about them in reference to your aerobic exercise and creating a program which allows you to burn fats more effectively. We talked about it again in section 5 on optimal nutrition and nourishment for yourself and feeding yourself good, healthy fats which are able to be used by your body and broken down. But processed fats, those are ones you don't want to have around. These are ones which typically are found in processed foods that sit on the shelf for long periods of time. In very kind of hard substances. They're more like the hard fats, like butters, like margarines, those type of things. These are the kind of fats you want to eliminate from your diet and instead replace them with those other ones we mentioned, such as omega-3s, omega-6s, some Udo's oil, some good nuts or avocados. Use these instead to give yourself the gift of a good, healthy, essential oil versus the poison of processed fats. The second poison that we're going to talk about is the poison of acid addictions. That sounds very almost menacing, and very evil. I didn't even mean to say it that way, but it just came out because that's how opposed to the acid I am. But again, this concept, I hope if you've been following along the video, should ring a bell. Acid addictions again refer to that dynamic of creating a body which is more alkaline and more basic than it is acidic. Remembering that within our body we have substances, we have processes that will either create an acidic reaction or an alkaline reaction, and we want to create an environment which is as alkaline as possible so our cells and our body can really thrive. So in looking at the things that you consume on a daily basis, you want to really try to minimize those various substances that contain a high level of acidity in them when you process them. Again, this is coffee, cigarettes, any type of substances or poisons of that nature, really true poisons that can really kill you and have a major effect on your health, or the kind of the sweets, the sugars. You want to try to take those down as much as you can and eliminate them from your diet to really experience the benefits of this 10-day program. The next poison we want to touch on, and in both of these next two actually, are ones which very counterintuitive, really surprised me when I first heard them, but the more research I did, the more scientific evidence I found that backed these things up. And once I made the shift, again, I felt it and I used my common sense to say that I agree with those things. The research is nice, but at the end of the day, I want to try it for my own body, and if it works for me, that's good enough. So what these next two are, the first one is the poison of animal fats, of animal flesh, excuse me. There are a lot of fats in animal food, but the poison of animal flesh. What do I mean by this? Again, I'm referring to things that are not plant-based foods. So vegetables, plant-based. Fruits are plant, earth-based. If you look at a lot of grains, a lot of rices, a lot of beans, a lot of nuts, those things are all plant and kind of organic from the soil. On the other hand, we have a lot of foods in our diet, a lot of meats, chicken, beef, pork, fish, which come from flesh. And flesh is a very acidic food substance when it's broken down in your body. It is much more difficult to break this down, and the residue that it creates in your body has an acidic effect versus some of the more neutralizing basic effects of the plant-based foods. So I'm not going to sit here and say, become a vegan, become a vegetarian, never eat animal food again, because I don't even do that myself. For a long time, I did. I tried this diet for a long time where I went 100% vegetarian, and then I went even more crazy because it was working so well, and I went 100% vegan. And it was a very difficult process to maintain for me, and it really just didn't work for me personally. I know plenty of people who do it, and they enjoy it, and that is, again, their personal choice. But it's beginning to have more conscious awareness of how much you consume these things. And again, what you consume them with in your diet. Looking back at the food combination chart from section 5 on nutrition, if you have animal flesh, have it with a salad. Have it with some veggies that will help to neutralize that acidic process. I personally, I'm a fish guy. I have fish, and that's really my go-to one. Out of all the meats that you can choose from, fish is the most it's the least acidic. It is sort of the most beneficial as well, kind of the protein content that it creates in your body. So that's my go-to. If you actually are familiar with any Jewish individuals, kosher food is one of the more beneficial meats that you can have as well by the way that it is processed and the way that it's prepared. The preparation process is much less detoxifying to the meat than some of the more traditional meats like steak, which is a little bit more processed and rigorous experience to get on your plate. So just being aware and minimizing the animal flesh that you consume. The fourth poison is the poison of dairy products. So again, this isn't quite as extreme as the animal flesh, but at the same time, it comes from a living organism. It comes from an animal, and dairy is one of those things that, too. We're told all of our life that you need to have dairy, and you need to have milk to have strong bones and get your calcium. But it turns out again that doing the research, this is actually a little bit skewed vision, and that an overconsumption of dairy products can actually have the reverse effect of giving calcium to your body, but it can start sapping calcium from your bones and lead to complications such as osteoporosis. So you want to, again, develop some awareness around maybe what dairy products you eat and learn how you can substitute them. For example, I used to drink a lot of milk or have a lot of yogurts. There's a much more healthy and beneficial way to get these same type of substances through the use of things like nut milk or almond milk or soy-based yogurt as opposed to dairy-based yogurt. So again, this program, I don't want you to cut things out of your life. I still love ice cream. I do, and I have it every once in a while, being the key word. But it's recognizing how can you shift, how can you change, or how can you do things a little bit differently and not totally overthrow your life and create this massive overhaul if you don't have to, but do so in a way that is more easy to transition through and really experience positively. So that today, again, I want to leave you are the 4 poisons to eliminate from your diet and eliminate from your life. We're coming up on one last video, which I'm going to treat you with. I saved it for last for a reason, and that is the video on self-love and taking care of yourself. So for this one, I want to prepare you for it. Have your journal ready. We're going to probably do we might do some things. I don't know, I kind of do this off the cuff in case you haven't noticed. It sort of just flows out of me, but we'll probably do some things, and you might have some reactions, and especially more than anything else, this is one that you want to have your journal ready for afterwards as well, to capture those and really make them your own. So until tomorrow, continue to make progress, get 1% better each and every day, and move forward towards your ultimate dream, your ultimate destination.